Following Monday's active shooter situation at the Royal Cabell Federal Building, you may be asking how and why does this keep happening? And were there warning signs that were possibly missed in this case? Well, joining us now to talk about this is Dr. David Henderson. He's a Dallas psychiatrist. Dr. Henderson, thank you so much for joining us today. We should mention, though, right off the bat, you did not personally treat this suspect. But let's talk about Brian Clyde, because he was not previously the subject of any kind of investigation. But could there have been warning signs missed?
Well, correct. In general situations like this, the warning signs are often very ambiguous, so it's hard to tell. Hindsight is sometimes 20/20, but not always. But in general, acts of previous violence can often suggest future violence. Talking about violence, demonstrating that there's an attitude of injustice, a disrespect for authority, and a sense of cynicism that nothing in the person's life can change except through violent means. Those are severe potential warning signs that could suggest someone might act out in a violent way.
And when we look at his social media presence, this is somebody who made threats online. This is somebody who constantly shared photos of weapons, magazines. What insight, if any, does this give us into a person's state of mind?
Well, potentially there was that sense of injustice and anger and sort of a fascination with violence in general. The point that I want to make is that you have to be very careful with looking at someone who does an act like this and automatically attributing it to a mental illness. That's somewhat like seeing someone eating dessert at a restaurant and suggesting that they probably have diabetes. That connection is impossible to make, and unfortunately it further adds to the stigma of mental health treatment, and it makes it hard for people who may need to seek treatment to reach out because they don't want to be given that label. That's something I think people need to understand. If they're struggling, it's important to reach out to a health professional or someone that they know that can get them and put them in the right direction.
That's an important message. And Dr. Henderson, let's talk about some of the social media presence. How do we know when somebody is asking for help or is in need of help? What are some of those signs?
Well, again, anything that's verbalized through the internet on social media, I think needs to be taken just as seriously as if it's stated to you directly. And of course, threats of violence, statements of anger, agitation, depression, a sense of hopelessness in life has to be taken seriously. You'd hope that the people that were friends with them on social media would take it seriously and report it, but a lot of times that doesn't happen. I think we live in a fractured society that focuses more on the screen of social media than engaging people in real life, and that's something we need to change as a society. We have to know our community. We have to know the people that live next to us, but also know the resources in the area that are available. One of which right here in Fort Worth is Fort Behavioral Health. It's a residential treatment center for folks struggling with drugs and alcohol. The facilities are there. It's important for us as a community to educate ourselves on where we can send people to get the help that they need.
Thank you, Dr. Henderson. There are a lot of resources in our community for anyone who does need help. Ken?
All right, thank you very much.